And I understand that your husband's remains were in Prescott.
That's right. Well, poor Herbert died just 3 years after we were married, and we buried him in Prescott with the rest of his family. But they dug up all those graves and they moved them to the Quabbin Cemetery. That was a good time, though, before Herbert died. Those 3 years, I was a library trustee in Shutesbury and a teacher.
Well, as you remember, I was a school teacher here for a short period of time, and I was a library trustee up until I died. I had a long life here in Shutesbury, Kaya, and all of 2 of them were spent right here. I am a 4th generation Shutesburian. My great-grandfather came to Shutesbury in 1805, and it was my grandfather who built that fancy house down at the end of Stowell Road. I have some bad feelings about that house, actually. You see, even though I was born there, I had to return there to take care of my aging parents. I was the oldest daughter and unmarried, and my parents were sick, so I had to come back to Shutesbury, give up my studies and dreams of becoming a nurse in order to care for them. I owned some other property here in Shutesbury. Well, Jared and Kaya, I owned the very house that you live in today.
Really?
Along with that little red one next to it. I loved living there. I had a lot of berry patches there.
Ooh, that's fun berries, yeah.
I probably planted those seeds. They said I grew the best berries in all of Franklin County, and I believe I did. And I protected them with a shotgun.
Awesome. That's a bit overkill.
Well, I did let some children pick them, but they had to be very respectful of my plantings, or I would make sure they never walked on my property again. I lived to be 87 years old, and every day I walked all the way from your house to Dillman's store, every day. And this here walking stick, it served me very well. Now the Dillmans, they were always kind to me, and they gave me a special chair, Lizzie's chair they called it, and they gave me milk for my cats.
I love cats.
I had a lot of cats, you know. You see, animals were very important to me. I mostly lived alone, and my animals kept me company, particularly my horse. My horse was a great old horse, and one day he became very sick, so I brought him into the house. Yes, Jared, I brought him into your house, and I pulled the couch out away from the wall, and I let my horse lie down between the wall and the couch, and I nursed him as best I could, but he died, and I wasn't able to get him out the door. It's a very painful memory for me. Now, I do remember when Miss Hattie Ames and other people started buying those fancy automobiles. What a waste of money that was. So, to spite that, I would just walk really slowly right down the middle of Wendell Road. Those automobiles would honk their horns, but I just kept on walking. Did you know, Kaya, that in 1895, 6 courageous women in this town went to the town and asked for municipal suffrage? I was one of those 6 women. And we got 10 men to vote for us, and 54 voted against us. We had to wait 25 more years before we could vote. Now that really twisted me in a knot. Why, I was a landowner, a taxpayer, and an upright citizen. I cared deeply about this town, and the many good and kind folks that cared for me as I got older. People like the Plazas and the Dillmans and the Haskells. They would feed me when I came to their door. They knew I was poor. Now, I know folks said I smelled like onions, and I didn't take to bathing much. But goodness me, this town has always been about helping each other out. I always like to say, we don't need to think alike to love alike. And in the face of the changes this planet is going through today, peak oil, economic downturn, and climate change, the only way you will survive and thrive is by coming together and building a strong community.
Right. If we work together, we can build a wall. No! A library!
I'm glad Shutesbury is building a strong local economy and supporting each other in our health and our well-being and in learning how to work and play together and to live deeply connected.
Come on, everybody. Let's go gather around the Liberty Pole and celebrate Shutesbury!
Came and dying bequeathed us their freedom fame. In freedom we're born and in freedom we'll live. Our purses are ready, steady friends, steady. Not as slaves but as free. Only we'll give. Then join hand in hand, good Shutesburyans all. By uniting we stand, by dividing we fall. So righteous a cause, let us hope to succeed. For heaven approves of each generous deed. In freedom we're born, and in freedom we'll live. Our purses are ready, steady friends, steady. Not as slaves, but